All right. You want me to believe... hold on. Reign of the Seven Spellblades, episode 5. You want me to believe that nobody died during that whole incident with the Garudas and the Kobolds. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't know. Maybe they're built different in this world. That's probably what it is. They're just built different. But man, they're just like all these shots of people just being overrun by kobolds and blood flying up and this Garuda going around just smacking people and everybody being dead-eyed sitting on the ground, stepping on them. Nobody died. Okay. All right, whatever. Let's just go ahead and just put that over here. We'll put a pin on that sucker. I don't know. Maybe they'll explain eventually that people could be revived in this world. I don't know. But anyways, episode 5 of Reign of the Spellblades. Decent episode. I want to say probably decent episode. It just kind of surprised that the focus really in this particular arc seems to be more so focused on the pretty much anti-establishment. The people that are kind of against the norms of treating demi-humans terribly and the idea of these activists wanting to create equality with the demi-humans. And that was kind of playing into my theories last episode. It seemed like it was obvious that it was Vera that did it because of that shot at the very end. And yes, it turned out to be Vera. More in the idea that Oliver discovers that, yeah, it seems like there's somebody within the school itself, somebody within Kimberly that's trying to keep up this old study that was being done about giving intelligence and knowledge to demi-humans. And that seems to make sense with the troll speaking human tongue. The end of the episode is kind of where it kind of just starts irking me in this idea of I don't really get the concept behind why Vera is doing what she is doing. It seems like it's a group that's trying to create a war. At least Vera, whatever group that she's with, wants to create a war. Not so much wanting to show people that demi-humans deserve rights, but actually wanting to create a war, which I don't know necessarily how that's going to help things. Obviously, there's two different directions you can take with this whole concept. Let's just take Katie and her family, for example. They coexist with the demi-humans. They want to live alongside them, they want to treat them as equals, and so everybody's happy and hunky-dory. Then, of course, you have the conservative side of this particular world is the idea that they want to treat demi-humans as objects, as resources. Whatever way that we can exploit the demi-humans, we will. Because they are less than us. We took their land, we deserve the land, they are terrible, get them out of the way, they're junk, they're dirt. And then it seems like you have the radical side of this whole situation, which is seemingly what Vera is, and the idea that we give them knowledge and let them rise up and attack the humans. Create a war, which based on what we know so far, doesn't make much sense. The demi-humans already lost. They lost all their land. The humans took it away from them. So my assumption here is the demi-humans can't fight back. They already lost that fight. So why creating a conflict within this area right here is going to help the demi-humans at all? Which again kind of goes into what I was thinking about with the previous episode, this idea that I don't necessarily think that Vera wants to help the demi-humans. It seems like she's giving them knowledge, but it seems like she's doing everything just to experiment. She's having fun with this whole thing. Her giving knowledge and speech to the troll isn't to help the troll be knowledgeable and help. Like Oliver was saying, there was a group that was experimenting on giving them knowledge so that they can stand side by side with the humans and thus gain rights. But I don't think that's what Vera's doing. I think Vera's doing that because she's having fun messing with them. Which that's where it gets into my difficulty with Vera as a character. We're already going in the realms of just another person that's just crazy. Kind of like Salvadori and Rivermore, the two upperclassmen that were down in the labyrinth. Is there a reason for why they are, or are they just crazy? And that's it. That's the story. They're crazy. Does Vera have a logical reason why she's doing what she's doing, or is she just crazy? It seems like she's crazy. She wants to cut open Katie just to find out how Katie was able to get a troll to talk. Which, yes, is sort of the piece in her own formula that she hasn't been able to figure out yet. But it still sort of makes it frustrating because the best villains are the ones that you understand. You don't agree with, but you understand. And right now, I don't get Vera. Right now, it just seems like mad scientist, so that's why. But who knows? We still have one more episode. Maybe the next episode they can reveal something about Vera that makes perfect sense and it just kind of pieces everything together. But for now, like I said, it's just sort of frustrating me because it doesn't make sense to each of the political parties. It doesn't make sense to any way to be able to resolve the issue between the two parties. It doesn't create another option that could possibly be successful. It just kind of comes down to nut job. The fight itself will be interesting though, because I think what we got kind of a brief idea of early on, which was sort of what we got hinted at with the Garuda fight, is the idea that Oliver works really well with Nanatsu. As we've seen with Nanatsu kind of just jumping forward, she's an attacker, she's going to jump right forward, she ends up getting hit by this basilisk curse, starts to turn her into stone, and then you have Oliver there that's kind of trying to help her with knowledge, but also support her with magic to remove the stoning. So I'm already liking this kind of strategy between the two of them. It's a supporter and attacker. So it'll be really cool to see how that fight turns out. I'm sure Vera's just gonna like break open all the things, and a bunch of demi-humans that have been modified are gonna jump out, and we're gonna have this big fight with a bunch of modified demi-humans. But yeah, the rest of the episode, we end up finding out that, yeah, there's this one person that is acquaintance to Andrews. Apparently she was the one that sent Katie out running in front of the trolls. Yes, we find out that the Kimberly Academy doesn't really care about what happens in the labyrinth, which answers my question from last episode. They just don't seem to care. Unless somebody dies, they're not getting involved. It's just students are getting in fights down in the labyrinth. We don't care. Shrug. Which I guess makes sense if they technically classify the labyrinth as not necessarily a part of the academy itself. Yes, a lot of academies like to keep their students in check, especially if it's in public, but if it's just a random labyrinth, I guess it doesn't really matter. Why get involved? How are you going to know the whole story? It seems like the academy at least walks the labyrinth, but it seems like that's for the benefit of the students, not necessarily that they care what really happens down there. It really does seem like the labyrinth is sort of hands-off, which, yes, putting aside my frustrations there and wanting some sort of repercussions here, does make sense to an academy like this, because they never promised safety to the students. They don't ensure the safety of the students. Why would they want to get involved? If anything, the labyrinth itself sort of unlocks potentials in the students themselves. Yes, many are going to die, but again, they don't ensure that. I did get a kick out of the victory. Shella went in for the move on Oliver to get her victory kiss in. Of course, doesn't get that. He at least gets one from Nano, so there you go. I do like that he just walks away and Nano's like, wait, where's my kiss? I still think Shella should have gotten a kiss. I think Shella should have pushed a little harder there. And then we have the random appearance of Oliver's cousin, so there's that. I don't know. We had a brief scene with Oliver and his bodyguard that is apologizing because she absolutely failed to be there for the Garuda, but it sort of did briefly give us a sense that Oliver has some sort of thing that's coming up. She says that she wants to protect him so that he can do what he must when the time comes. And it gave us a brief shot of some person with a bunch of other people in front of them. Now, don't know who any of these people are, but we did get a brief shot of the one that is kind of showing from perspective. This seems to be some sort of memory of Oliver's. From his perspective, somebody standing in front of him, maybe shielding him, and then like 6 people in front of them. And it seems like that person in front of Oliver is the same one that we saw when he first seen Nanao and she was cleansing herself. He had this brief vision of some lady saying something like, do it or something like that. It was like, this is the time for you or something like that. That I got a huge kick out of from the first episode. So this seems to be somebody, maybe like a sensei or something like this to him. Somebody that probably trained him. And they were possibly protecting him from somebody else. So we'll have to wait and see. Probably 5 volumes later. 3 seasons later. Other than that, we have Oliver pretty much showing his expertise in potion making, stopping a bunch of people from causing explosions in the middle of the classroom, eventually catching the attention of Glenville, which is one of the teachers that originally was trying to kill the troll. It seemed like Andrew steps up for once, kind of lets him know, be careful about this Glenville guy. Apparently, Glenville likes to bring in students under his wing and then just steal their studies and then write his own papers from them. So we'll see if that comes back up or if that's just to show that Andrews now can be trusted, which at this point, Andrews has been redeemed. So there we go. He's still being tsundere though. But yeah, pretty decent episode. Like I said at the very beginning, we'll see where this goes from here. Like I said, I'm really hoping they deliver something on Vera in the next episode. If not, it's going to make me, it's gonna kind of ruin, it's gonna probably put a little bad taste in my mouth, but we'll see. Hopefully, maybe if this kind of wraps up decently well, maybe the next arc will be a really solid one, but we will wait and see. But that's my thoughts on Rain the Seven Spellblades episode 5. Hope you guys enjoyed my video. As always, if you did, make sure that like button down below, comment, let me know what's thought of the episode. Additionally, if you're new to the channel, make sure that subscribe button's got my content. I do news, reviews, first impressions, top lists. If it's anime, it's pretty much here. Additionally, if you want to support the channel more, I have a Patreon link, tips link, super thanks, membership button down below. Greatly appreciate what it does, and y'all take care.